Welcome, good patrons, one and all.
This is the tale of the brilliant, kind, and decidedly unrapacious, beautiful Isha, who successfully revitalized her town of New Nevea.
Not so fast, darling. The barrows are treacherous. You mustn't go inside.
Blah, blah, blah. You can't stop CJ from doing whatever she wants.
What am I to do with you?
Please, fair lady, allow me to tend to this on your behalf.
The three of them started out like oil, water, and something else that doesn't go with oil or water. But in time, they became fast friends.
Oh, you will help me, won't you? I'll make it worth your while.
Yeah, let's smack a bunch of enemies to death.
I will fight with you until the end. This is my vow.
Yes, it was a tale of action, adventure, but also heartwarming moments.
Wow, Isha, you're such a great cook on top of everything else.
Oh, stop. Though it is true that everything out of New Nevea is quite delicious. Here, open wide and say, ah.
I feel as though I've lived a half-life until this very moment when this food touched my lips.
Everybody should visit New Nevea so they can stuff themselves silly.
And then, at long last, a final showdown with their nemesis.
Ha 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 ha! Insert exposition here. You will never thwart my evil plans.
Stand back, everyone. You have done enough already. I must face him alone, even if it costs me my life.
What are you saying, you selfless, amazing person? You promised we'd be together always.
That's the right of it, ladies. This conjurer of cheap tricks won't lay a finger on you so long as I live.
Enough! Have you resigned yourself to your fate?
Do your worst, fell sorcerer. In the name of love and justice and the holy sword, Astra, I will strike you down.
Gasp! Whatever will become of Isha and her merry companions? If you want to know how their story ends, then book a trip today to the land of dreams and adventure, New Nevea. Gorge yourself on fine cuisine. Take in the breathtaking scenery. Receive free stamps. Don't just visit. Stay forever. Brought to you by the New Nevea Restoration Bureau.
Welcome, good patrons, one and all.
There once was a donkey who had grown too old to work anymore. His owner had a mind to stop feeding him, so the donkey decided it was time to run away. Putting the village behind him, he set out for town, determined to make it as a musician. Along the road, he came across an old dog.
Hello. What's the matter, friend? You look so very tired.
My master sent me away because I'm too old to go hunting with him anymore.
Well, I have an idea. Why don't you come to town with me, and we'll become musicians together?
So, that's exactly what the two of them did. Further up the road, they met a cat too old to catch mice, and a rooster that was going to be slaughtered for supper. And before long, their merry band of two had become a merry band of four.
Heavens above, I'm too old for this. How I'd love to roll around by the stove. I can't take another step.
Hey, look! I see light coming from those windows. Let's ask if we can stay the night.
A fine idea, friend. Let's do just that.
Now, just hold on. Perhaps we should have a look first. Something smells funny to me.
When the four animals peered into the house, they saw a band of robbers sitting down to a mouth-watering feast.
Nice haul today, boys.
Those crooks! Why do they get to eat and not us?
Oh, how I hunger. Can we take just a smidge of their food?
If only we could chase the robbers away.
Actually, I think I know just the trick.
And what a delightful idea it was. The animals wasted no time in giving it a try. The dog climbed onto the donkey's back, the cat climbed onto the dog's back, and the rooster climbed onto the cat's back.
All together now, friends. Eeyaw!
Meow. Poopy!
Eeyaw! Eeyaw!
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Wow! It's a monster!
Startled, the robbers fled for their lives and never returned again. Settled down for good.
Without further ado, enjoy the show.
Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful and kind-hearted girl named Cinderella.
Oh, Mother.
After Cinderella's mother died, her father's new wife and the woman's daughters moved into their home. But Cinderella's stepmother was cruel, and her stepsisters jealous of the girl's beauty.
Cinderella, finish that cleaning at once, and then you can wash the dishes. There is much work to do, and I will not tolerate your laziness.
Look at those filthy clothes.
Huh, but I suppose they're perfect for a kitchen maid like you.
Filthy, filthy Cinderella, all covered in grime and ashes.
Then one day, the prince of the kingdom proclaimed he was throwing a ball. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters attended in their finest clothes. But they refused to take the poor girl along.
Don't cry, Cinderella. I shall give you the most lovely dress and a pumpkin carriage, a mice for coachman. Then you can go to the ball.
Really? Oh, thank you.
But remember, Cinderella, the magic will wear off when the clock strikes midnight. You must return home before then.
And with that, the fairy gave Cinderella her final present, a beautiful pair of glass slippers. Cinderella was the center of attention at the ball. Even the prince was captivated by her beauty.
Oh, what a splendid evening. But it will soon be midnight. I must away.
Wait, fair maiden, for I find myself captivated by your beauty.
The prince picked up the glass slipper and vowed to find the young woman to whom it belonged.
It's mine. That's my slipper, all right? It's certain to fit.
You must make it fit, darling.
But neither of the cruel stepsisters were able to get the slipper on.
There's no way that Cinderella could have attended that ball in those dirty rags. Filthy, filthy Cinderella.
But lo and behold, when Cinderella tried the slipper on, it was a perfect fit. And so Cinderella and the prince were wed, and they lived happily ever after. That stepmother would have run for the hills were it her ladyship.
Welcome, good patrons, one and all.
Our story begins on a magnificent bridge, as a boy chances upon a bright-eyed girl gazing out upon the water. Love at first sight, indeed. His name is Romeo, of the House of Montague. Hers is Juliet, of the House of Capulet. Alas, their families have been feuding for generations, with no sign of their mutual hatred coming to an end.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou willst it, I shall cast aside mine.
Call me but love, Juliet, and talk not of names. For a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, would it not?
You speak a beautiful truth. I love thee, Romeo.
And I, thee, forever. Even in the cold hands of death shan't pry you from my embrace.
No, speak not of death, Romeo. You must live with me until time itself expires.
But the stars have other plans in mind. An unfortunate stabbing or two plunges their family's relations to a new low. A humble man of the cloth, Friar Lawrence, takes pity on the youths and comes to Juliet with an idea.
Friar Lawrence, I am to be wed to a man I do not love. Is there no escape? No ploy to bring Romeo and I together as one?
Take thou this vial, and drink thou off. For 42 hours thou shalt go stiff and stark and cold, like death. Find thou this courage, and after thou art borne to the crypt, thou shalt rise again, and be with Romeo.
Give me. Give me. Oh, tell not me of fear.
Alas, the letter that was to inform Romeo of their plan is lost en route by the messenger. After Juliet's servant, Balthazar, tells Romeo of her death, he sneaks into her family crypt, racked with grief.
Oh, my love, my goddess! Death hath had no power yet upon thy beauty, and yet never again shall I gaze into those deep pools that are thine eyes. Thus, with a kiss, I die. May we meet again in a world untouched by strife. Here's to love eternal!
In his sorrow, Romeo takes a deadly poison and breathes his last breath. Then, and only then, does Juliet awake.
Romeo, it cannot be. Gone from me, and wherefore? Oh, child! Shall I never hear my name dance from thy lips again? But now, we can be together.
Soon after, word of the young lover's death reached their quarreling families. Although the tragedy brought the feud to a close, poor Romeo and Juliet would never know it.
Welcome, good patrons, one and all.
Little Red Riding Hood went to visit her sweet grandmother with some cake and wine.
Oh, grandmother, grandmother, why are you abed?
Poobie?
Come closer, child, so I may get a good look at your face.
Grandmother, grandmother, what big ears you have.
Poobie?
The better to hear you with, my dear.
Grandmother, grandmother, what big eyes you have.
Poobie.
The better to see you with, my dear.
Grandmother, grandmother, what a big mouth you have.
Poobie.
But of course. The better to eat you with, my dear.
And so poor Red Riding Hood was gobbled up by the wolf, who with a very full stomach fell sound asleep.
Hark! What is all that raucous snoring? Foul wolf! How dreadful! But perhaps it is not too late.
Not again.
And so, a hunter who chanced upon the cottage saved Red Riding Hood and her grandmother from the belly of the wolf. Lovely!
Thank you, brave hunter.
You're welcome. That beast will trouble you no more.
Let that be a lesson to you, dear. No more straying from the path.
Yes, grandmother.
Poobie,